The day has finally come. Yes, we're finally doing it. After popular demand by exactly no one except like two of my friends, we are finally doing the singular Braincell podcast. I forgot the name for a second.
We're hipsters now.
Yes, we're going to make the next Saint Row game and make it terrible by putting in a lot of hipster lifestyle dumb shit. Whatever. I don't know. That game was not very good. Regardless, today for our very first podcast, hopefully, if this one doesn't get scrapped because some bullshit happens, uh, we have with us here today Tams, a reoccurring cast member on my Let's Play channel. If I
Yes.
mean, technically, you could say she's the OG because she was in the very first pilot Let's Play. And actually, I think that probably is a good place to start with. Is that one because um,
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of my channel was not really expected. It mostly just came out of boredom from college, being my first year back in when I started. I was just kind of bored,
Mm.
and to be fair, there was a lot I could have done. But if you don't know, I'm an introvert, and socializing is not my forte. So
Ah,
yeah,
ah.
social.
Really?
Yeah,
You?
yes, socializing is not my forte. It's just the reality of it. And
Speaking of reality, that's how we first met in
yes,
virtual reality.
exactly. In in VR chat is how we met. Um,
Mm.
which I guess is probably the best thing to come out of that game. So there you go.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't really give any whatever you have in your bank. When you don't have much to give, it's alright. Lately, though, not so much.
You don't want to piss off the VR chat community. I thought you said no controversies.
I didn't say that. I just don't want to say anything to piss people off.
Well, to be honest with you, no matter what we say, it's probably gonna piss somebody off. I could say
Yeah, true.
penis, and a bunch of feminists will be like,
The audacity.
it's like that one Family Guy bit. Hey, hold on, Mr. Peter Schmidt. I got this penis. Oh! The guy just faints. But yeah, I started the channel. I had it a while back. I didn't really use it for much. It was just there because, and wanting to do a Let's Play channel was something that was on my mind for a little while, but I never really got around to it because I just didn't have any much motivation, I suppose you could say. But once I got to
Mm,
college and I had a lot of more free time than high school, and I wasn't really doing much with my free time because I was just getting used to my surroundings, I was like, I might as well do something with my time if I'm just because I don't want to just lay around like a fat sack of shit doing nothing. So the Brain Fart Let's Play channel began, and from there, I it sort of just I'm pretty proud of how it's come along so far. There's definitely a couple of things in which I wish I can improve here and there, in which unfortunately it's not much of me improving, but rather my equipment improving. But regardless, I'm very happy with how most of it has turned out so far, and yeah. But Tams was one of the first people, along with my friend JC,
yeah,
to join me. And that whole experience was very stressful because OBS, I got very frustrated the first time I was setting up, and I was like, didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I was
yeah,
getting really mad because I just didn't know why it wasn't working. Eventually got it to work, only for me to realize that the video game audio was bit too loud and it was a little bit hard to hear all of us. But I thought to myself, it's not horrible. You can still kind of hear us. And I figured I would label it as a pilot, as
mm,
an excuse for its sort of low, like not very well executedness. But regardless, I was still happy with the end result. I thought it was still decent for what it was, and for our first time doing it, it could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, but from there, I slowly learned more and more, and the channel is just kind of I've been doing my own thing with it. I don't really have much of an upload schedule, as most of you probably have already noticed. I don't really like plan uploads. I mostly just edit whenever I feel like, and I upload whenever I feel like.
Yeah, it's not like a career kind of thing. It's more like a fun thing to do with your close friends.
Yes, I think that's probably the best way to go about it, in my opinion, because otherwise, I don't know. I think otherwise, it just ends up. I feel like it just becomes a lot less fun. I don't do this for the money. I don't do this for the fame. I do this just because it's fun for me, and
Yeah.
that's really just what it comes down to. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who, will probably be like, "Oh, you're just saying that to be humble," but the minute you start getting offers from like ads, you're gonna ditch all those beliefs for the money. I'm like, nah, I don't give a shit. I already have plans for a career in my life, and
Yeah.
I really do not care to do YouTube full time because if you don't know, I actually kind of fucking hate YouTube. Uh, I do. I mean, I do. The
Very
people.
bold statement.
I kind of do. I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't necessarily hate the platform itself. I just hate how it's marketed and run, and how it's sort of like controlled, because it
Yeah.
really is not very fair and balanced to a lot of people who use the platform, especially smaller YouTube channels. Doesn't matter who you
Mhm.
are. If you make YouTube a lot of money, they're going to be biased towards those people and not give a shit about you. So that's just how it ends up becoming, and that's the truth of it all. But regardless, I still appreciate that it is a platform that allows you to do most of the things that you want to do, even though, you say one bad word and immediately Thor's hammer gets brought down on you.
Mm.
But regardless, the channel sort of started off with that. It started off with that first recording, and from there, I sort of just I kind of got a little bit of that sort of rush, that sort of high. I wanted to do more and more and more. I'm not saying I lost that rush, but obviously, as time, you know, it's been almost a full year since I started, and I want to improve my work habits, and I want to improve the quality of these recordings and the let's plays themselves. And in order to do that, it requires a lot of more planning and money. And unfortunately, that means it's going to require a bit of time before I get to that point. But hopefully, sometime soon in the future, I will reach a point where my recordings will improve, because I'm planning to hopefully get a better editing software. Because if you don't know, as of right now, I use Adobe Premiere Rush to edit my videos. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably like, why the fuck would you use a platform like that to edit 30-minute to 40-minute long Let's Play videos? And it's because fuck you. That's why. uh, I don't really have a reason. It's just, it was there before I even started my Let's Play channel. And so I was like, I'll just use this to edit, and it's been pretty fine as it is. But I do realize Premiere Rush has a lot of limitations, because I mean, it's not really meant to do big editing things. So that's why I want to improve my shit. But anyways, enough about me, how interesting I am. Let's go to my little Tammy friend over here. Let's how's your experience on the channel been so far?
Uh, well, for one, I would have been in more episodes of the channel um if I actually was an interesting person to really talk about things. As you've noticed, I'm not really a talker kind of person. I'm more of a listener kind of person when it comes to pretty much anything. But when people are more direct towards me and talking about things, I do have a few things to say here and there. But yeah, I'm a good friend of of Mr. Brain Fart here for quite a while now. And I've been very supportive of his channel, of course, and I've been super excited and had a lot of fun with recording with him when certain sessions and whatnot. But yeah, I've just been kind of vibing, honestly. Just glad to be here, glad to talk about things, and hopefully I'll have more interesting stuff to talk about.
Listen, having women on your show improves ratings, which is why which is why that's the singular reason I bring you.
Oh well, thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. It's just because if I have friends, it really just depends. I mean, um, some of my friends I ask they come on, others they still come on. I mean, it really just depends. I'm not very forcive. I just kind of ask people. I don't ask everyone. It usually depends. I mean,
Mm,
obviously, I try to ask my friends who are, you know, around my same age or if older is fine as well. I don't really care. Just as long as roughly the same age or just of, the age of which they can really relate to my sense of humor. Because if you haven't noticed, my sense of humor is somewhere between random and fart humor. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah. So so it's in like this limbo in between. So I mean my channel's literally called Brain Fart. So as you would, it's kind of ironic, seeing as that I don't even remember recalling I've ever made fart jokes very often. Obviously, I think I make like a couple like noises here and there during the recordings, but I don't recall ever making
Mm.
like an actual fart joke, despite my name. To be fair, my name isn't centered around the fact that I make a lot of fart jokes. My name is centered around the fact that, well, you know, well, it's meant to be a play on the fact that I'm such a very weird person that being around me, you tend to experience a brain fart, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
That's very true.
Exactly. That's sort of how it's supposed to be, and I never really expected that would be how I would identify myself on the internet, but I couldn't really see myself portraying myself as any other sort of persona or character. So it just sort of stuck, and I'm happy with how it is. I think the character sort of decently represents me, and yeah, I think it's a fun character, my little OC. As for Tams, is that whole story about your character, because we had to redesign. If you haven't noticed, Tams's character had a bit of a redesign for some of the newer
Mm.
thumbnails, and
Mostly for copyright reasons.
that's for copyright reasons. Because Tam's original OC she used to represent herself on the internet was technically heavily based off of a VR chat avatar, not entirely, but pretty heavily inspired by it.
Mm.
And because me and Tams kind of know uh how some VR chat avatar creators can be a little, I don't want to say anything to piss people off, but piss poor babies. It's probably the nicest way I could put it. The meanest way I could put it is bunch of capitalistic bastards who stuck on their mom's titties. No, but I can suck on them. No, my point is that we didn't want to start. We didn't want to like get involved with any VR chat avatar creators or like that looks like my avatar. So we rebranded her OC. We we designed a brand new one for her, still based off of some of the original, but also adding in more of her own physical physique and just more of her own characteristics. And yeah, that's uh
Mm.
that's what we did for her, and I'm very happy how it turned out. And with the help of my lovely friend Handzy, helped in designing her new character. And I guess I'll put on screen the official Tam's brain fart uh, character design right here. This is the official for her. Um, yeah, I like it. I like how it turned out. I feel like
Yeah.
it's the chibi design really goes along with your more so adorable personality.
Yeah, I mean, average.
I'm average. You can humble yourself. This podcast is all about just being.
Well, no, well, it's again, it's the same reason with like why I'm not in most of your videos is because I just generally don't think I'm funny enough to really make good content enough to really contribute to being memorable or whatnot. But I'm okay with that. I'm just not meant for these kind of things. But I'm here to be just a morally good friend to Tiny, honestly.
Fair enough. I think you're pretty entertaining though. You got a lot of good moments. We have a lot of good and back and forths between recordings. I think the bottom line is that it's not always about like being funny or entirely interesting, but just about just being able to have a conversation and being just more so, I guess, entertaining to the extent, but not always having to be funny. That's one of my main factors of fear when I do recording sessions is that I feel like I always need to do something funny or be funny in order to sort of like meet the quota and be entertaining. But the bottom line is that I really feel like if I force it too much, I end up becoming less funny. So that's why in most
Mm,
recordings, over time, you'll notice that we focus less on being funny and we just tend to just have conversations because that's just how it is. And that's also why, if you'll notice, we tend to don't really record more than an hour and a half to 2 hours. Sometimes we'll only record for an hour, that is, at a time. And that's because the longer we record, the less we are really, we feel we just have less to talk about and less to really work off with. We just kind of get, I mean, we don't want to push it too far. Some people are capable of sitting down for hours at a time, like 10 hours a day doing a full-on recording session for an entire video game. As for us, we don't do that. we don't we don't
yeah.
we don't really push ourselves that far. We just record as much as we feel is necessary, and then once we have enough for maybe 1 to 2 episodes, we sort of just finish it off from there. Obviously, it makes it a bit difficult because there's not a lot of games that you can beat within an hour to an hour and a half of time, which means that a lot of games we play, we end up not finishing unless we do multiple recording sessions over that one game, which sometimes we do. Other times, I just sort of say it's not worth it because either the game is too long or I look back on the recordings and I realize that the game really didn't have much for us to really work off of. But regardless, uh, I do want to still try to at least finish a lot of the games that we start, or at least revisit them in the future. So
Mm,
if there is a game that you want us to continue to play in the future, don't worry. It's possible we might get around to it. It just may take a while because, well, we don't want to dedicate ourselves to just one game exclusively. I kind of want to just go back and forth between different games because I think that's a lot more fun. However, I do still want to revisit old games because I feel like that also, you know, I mean, if I have fun recording it, then why not try to finish the game?
yeah.
But regardless, that's just sort of how we roll. And also, it makes it a little bit difficult because if you haven't noticed, a lot of the recording sessions take place over Discord, which I also fucking hate Discord. I
For
hate
that you can say.
I hate Discord. Okay, listen. Ugh. It's so fucky, so fucky, and it's like you want to record with your friends and you want to talk with them, and it's like the audio just cuts out or Discord just fucks up, or the audio peaks. I probably peaked the audio right there with yelling into my microphone. But regardless, if you're wondering why my microphone audio is usually pretty good, well, it's because I'm not recording through Discord. I'm recording straight to OBS, and I have an $800 microphone I do it with because yeah, I came pre-prepared for this, but to be fair, this microphone was meant more for voice acting rather than recording let's plays, but it can do both pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, usually my audio is fine, but if you haven't noticed in a lot of the recordings, a lot of other people's audios, you'll hear a lot of background noises, or it may be a little hard to hear them at times. It goes in and out. Sometimes they peak, and unfortunately, there's not much I really can do about that because that's Discord, and Unfortunately, I'm not going to force my friends to go out and buy like a $100 microphone that I have because, well, one, that's not really, I feel like that's a bit unnecessary. And two, I really don't care. I mean, sure, the audio doesn't sound great on their end, but as long as you can really understand, if you can understand what they're saying, I think it's fine. Honestly, if my friends decide that they want to go out and buy better microphones, that's their choice. I don't force them. I don't really care. Listen, if a lot of you are out there like, I really wish I could hear Shredder or Pizza or Dolly better because of their microphone qualities.
Mm,
Listen, I hear you. I get it. I wish that their quality would be better too. But even if they did get better microphones, keep in mind, Discord is still probably going to cause a lot of problems with it. And at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. And usually that we haven't had too many problems with the audio. I feel like if I'm able to understand what they're saying, then you guys probably can. And if you guys do have trouble understanding them, let me know, and maybe at some point I'll go through some of the episodes with more difficult hearing, and maybe I'll add in subtitles, who knows, just so you guys can hear them a little, just so you actually know what they're saying. Regardless, usually if I can understand them or if I can hear them, then I'll keep it in. If I can't, or you just it's mumble, usually I won't keep it in. So yeah, if you don't know, already a lot of the recordings we do is are basically just highlights of themselves. I basically just take the best parts from each of the recordings that we do and I edit the best parts. And usually I still keep in a lot of the conversations and a lot of more of the quiet moments because I still want to show off some of the gameplay. But of course,
yeah.
I like to edit it down so we're focusing more on the better moments rather than just me just mumbling and being like, because unfortunately I'm the one usually playing most of the games that we do. The reason why I say that's unfortunate is because at some points it's kind of difficult for me to talk and play at the same time. However, I feel like I've been pretty good at doing it with most of the let's plays we've done, but unfortunately, I do want some of my other friends. I really do want to record some of my other friends playing other games as well. Like Shredder wanted to play a game, but because of how fucking Discord works, we weren't able to set it up, and it was really disappointing. And even Tams, we wanted to do something for Tears of the Kingdom where we wanted to do record her uh, playing Tears of the Kingdom and me playing it at the same time and go back and forth between our screens to kind of like have like a double let's play. But
Mm.
unfortunately, no, it's not that it wouldn't have been too much work, but it's because Tans couldn't find the dock for her Switch.
I live in a cramped room. What do you expect?
I'm
I
not
don't have space for that kind of stuff.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just being sarcastic. Personally, it's not a big deal.
Why are you yelling at me?
Don't yell at me. Um, Personally, it's fine. I do want to like, I really do hope in the future that, if we find a way in which, or like, this is my plea to Discord. Discord, please make it easier to record people live streaming their recording footage over Discord, please. Or at the very least, what I want to do is have my friends record their their them playing the game with OBS themselves, and then send the recording to me through like a Google Drive, and then I'll edit it and put it on the channel. That's usually probably going to be the best. However, as you imagine, some of my friends don't, you know, of course, it's a bit difficult. However, hopefully in the future, maybe we'll see some more of that because Shredder did buy a capture card. So, hopefully, I mean, as of right now, I don't specifically have anything planned, but you know, might anticipate some more let's play, not just me playing because to be honest, I do enjoy playing the games, but I want to see my other friends play it too because, why not? A lot of my friends have pretty decent or even I dare say really good gaming skills. I mean, have you seen Tams play Skyrim?
Well, I've just played it 100 times. I'm pretty sure a lot of people played it many times. That's
It's
nothing interesting. That's nothing new.
Having a skill in a game is nothing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true, but still, you should take pride in your ability to be really good at a game, even if other people are really good at it. It still takes time to get good at a game. Like I take pride in the fact that I 101% Pizza Tower and got all the achievements, even though I'm sure a lot of other people have as well. I'd still take pride in it.
Mm.
Okay, maybe I'm a little narcissistic. Fuck you. But regardless, um, I take it's like when I 100% Mario Galaxy 2. That was not easy. And I'm sure a lot of people have done it as well, but I still take pride in that because you know what? It was a challenge for me and I did my best. And how long did it even take me to do that? The final Galaxy. Jesus, it must have taken me. Did it take me almost 3 weeks playing it every day for at least like an hour to beat the final Galaxy? Maybe less, but it took me a long ass time because that was difficult. But I kept up with it. But at the end of the day, I don't consider myself an elite gamer, um, because I have my up and downs days. Some days I'm really good, other days I'm not. It really just depends on how much I play the game and just how I don't know. It's kind of weird. It depends on my mood, I guess. That is the best way I can really put it. Some days I'm just really good, other days I'm just not. So I usually try to record on the days that I'm really good, but as you can expect, I don't know the days that I'm really good. So sometimes I just suck ass at playing video games, as evidenced by the Super Mario Sunshine Let's Play. But regardless, I still actually really like those episodes. Sure, I sucked ass at playing the game, but I think that's what made it really funny. I don't play GameCube games very often, or at very least when I do, my biggest problem is that I'm not very used to the GameCube controller. It's a very nice controller. I understand that, but personally for me, it's a very difficult controller. Uh, it's a very difficult controller for me to use because I'm not used to it. I grew up with the
Mm.
Nintendo Wii, and after that it was Xbox. So I grew up with those kind of controllers, not the GameCube. But I'm slowly getting better and better with it. I feel, but yeah, that's why I want my other friends to take 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 the wheel because they're really good at a lot of the games that we play, especially the older ones. And I really want them to be able to play it as well. And hopefully in the future we can do that. But besides that, continuing on, uh, we were one thing I do want to bring up is that I'm sure a lot of people probably get confused by the fact that everyone else calls me Pen, but only Tams calls me Tiny.
Oh, that's true because of his VR chat tag name.
Yep. Everyone else calls me Pen because, well, that's my name, and well, the name I go by, and Tams calls me Tiny because that's the name she knew me by when she first met me, and yeah. So just so you know, whenever she calls me Tiny, yes, she is referring to me. There is not a fourth member recording with us. We have a imagine there's just a little. We have a fourth member. He's just a little dude. He's a little tiny guy, and you can't hear him because his voice is so high pitched that it peaks the audio.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Little tiny dude. I'd love that. A little tiny baby man. He sits in my lap. He's sitting in my lap right now. He's sucking on his little baby thumb. Oh man,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. I love a little man. Just to like, you know what would be awesome if I had just a little man, and I had him. I just like lift him up and put him on my desk, and he'd run across my desk to grab my bottle of water and bring it back to me. And yeah, I just put him down on the ground and I just tell him to go get me something, and he just runs. Takes him like an hour to go get it, but takes him an hour because he's so small. But he eventually gets there. He brings it back. And I'm like, thank you. I would love that little tiny man, little tiny. But yeah, one of the names I go by is just Tiny, just because that's one of my VR chat names. I'm not gonna say the full name, well, because I don't want people going on VR chat trying to friend me. But regardless, it's probably not hard to figure out what it is. I mean, especially by like it's the name I use on Steam, and it's just I mean it's a name I just stuck with because of well a lot of the interesting experience I've had with this name on VR chat itself, specifically with those insecure fuckboys who walk over to me questioning why I call myself Tiny D and then start shit with me, and I just think to myself like
Oh yeah, they get so offended because you're called Tiny D, so they have to like talk to you and say, "Why you called Tiny D? Because you have a tiny penis." Like
they
they're
get
so fucking original.
yeah.
Yeah, so original. You know what?
I don't understand. Like I get it. Like obviously some people walk up to me and do it and they're joking, but other people legitimately have walked up to me and literally have had a problem with that name because
Mm,
it is Tiny D is the name. And basically what it is that you know no, the name is not necessarily meant to be a dick joke, but obviously because the implication is that it is a dick joke, it's the reason why I kept the name because I thought it was really funny. If you're wondering, the name is a parody on the fact that I'm a big fan. If you already didn't know, I'm a huge fan of the Kirby series, specifically the character King DDD. He's my favorite.
mm.
I love me King DDD. I love that fat ass. Regardless, I love King DDD. He's my favorite, and I love the anime. And if you don't know, in the anime, King DDD has two nicknames. One of them is Triple D, which, if you don't know, was a nickname I actually went by for a little while on some of my other social media places, which is why like my friend JC will literally call me D or Triple, or sometimes he even just calls me King because he just refers to me as my King DDD persona, not really persona, but just the fact that I play up the character a lot because I love him. But the other nickname King DDD goes by in the anime is Big D. Yes, I'm not shitting you. I call him Big D. And as a parody of that, one day I took a little, I'll probably put the image on screen. It's not like amazingly drawn because I did it very half-assed and shittily, but I took a little image of an Australian fairy penguin, which are these the smallest penguins on earth, and they're adorable and they're blue. And apparently they're supposed to be what many people believe King Dedede is based off of because apparently he's roughly the same size as an Australian fairy penguin in real life. Because if you didn't know, fucking Kirby's like 6 inches and King Dedede is a foot tall. And I drew a little King DDD. I still can't fucking talk. King DDD outfit on him, and I called myself Tiny D. And
Tiny.
Tiny, and that's just the name I've gone by for pretty much like over a year now. And I've just stuck with it, and I really like that name. It's a lot of fun, but of course, a lot of people take problem with it, and they're like, "Why is your name Tiny D?" And specifically, the one that comes to mind the most is the incident in the Black Cat.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
We weren't even bothering this guy. We were just talking out in the open. We were just discussing shit. This guy just walks over, and the obvious, fuck boy emo literally looks horrendous and like literal like just fucking I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks like basically just an emo nightmare, and just walks up to me and it's just like in like this like try hard deep uh manly voice, which clearly isn't their normal voice. They're just like trying to like start shit with me because my name is Tiny D, and I'm just like I think the real problem here is that you might have some insecurities about yourself, in which my name reminds you of that. And we just kept like telling him like, "Are you sure that this isn't about you and something that you don't want to admit?" and, and the guy just kept getting pissed, and then eventually he just left, and we were just like, well, that just happened. But that day
Mhm.
forward, I was like, I'm not getting rid of this name. I'm not getting rid of this name. I can't. It's too good. People just get so angry just because of this name
Mm,
alone, and I very much enjoy just the name and just how ridiculous it is. But really, I really do enjoy just messing with people on VR chat. But if only VR chat wasn't so shitty.
yeah.
But
If only.
yeah, regardless though, let's I wanna know, I want people to know about you, Tams. Tell people about who is Tams.
What do you want to know about me?
Um, what was what was the last SpongeBob meme you saw?
Um, Last SpongeBob meme I saw was a recent one that people have been memeing about, with a song parody of like people using character AIs to voice over like certain songs. And the one I heard was the SpongeBob AI where he's just singing, "Police, I swear to God, not simping for a child." It's so funny because like they use like other characters from that show to just voice over that one line. And it's just been super funny. They even did one with Gary.
I like the one AI cover where where it's just SpongeBob singing Big Iron. Well, Big Iron on his hip. That one was fun. It sounds really good too, but um I would probably say my favorite one is the w- um oh Squidward singing Virtual Insanity is really funny.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's actually something I kind of want to talk about though, is the whole AI voice thing that's been kind of coming up a lot, and the
Hmm.
now this is a controversial topic. However, I don't really care about giving my opinion on it because, well, like fucking whatever. This is something in which I really don't care to put my opinion out there, and people disagree with me. I really don't care because personally, as a voice actor, this is, and yeah, well, not like a like, you know, big shot voice actor, of course, but still someone who has done voice acting and, you know, whatever. Regardless, I don't need
Hmm.
to explain myself. Fuck you. Um, as someone who is quote a voice actor end quote, uh, yes, I understand a lot of the issues that some people have with utilizing AI voice, and replicating famous people's voices for certain things and projects. However, I also feel that if someone is using AI in more of a silly, stupid manner, like for example, people using those AI voices to do covers of songs, I don't have much of a problem with that because personally, I think that's kind of funny. And a lot of the time, it either just sounds really bad or it actually legitimately sounds really good. But you usually know it's AI, and you know, I don't really have much of a problem with that because it's silly. It's not really meant to be taken seriously. They're not using
Hmm.
it because they're legitimately trying to like, or at least I hope not, like trying to actually like get like actual use from it because of course, if you were to do a SpongeBob episode and you did you want and you legitimately in that episode they used an AI voice cover of Squidward singing "My Way" instead of actually just getting the voice actor to do it, then yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of where it's like, why would you do that? You have the voice actor, you have access to him or her. You don't need to use the AI to replicate their voice. If people are
Hmm.
utilizing it though, because they don't have access to voice actors who are capable of doing it, or maybe they can't pay voice actors because they don't really have much money, or they dedicate a lot of the money to the project, or let's say they're using AI to replicate a voice of an actor or actress who has unfortunately passed away for their smaller project. I can kind of understand that. Although, what I will say though is that I would refrain from using AI voices of actors and actresses who have passed away because I feel like that is a little, I'm not a big fan of that. If you want to use it for more of Like like it's a bit hard because on one hand, is it disrespectful? Not necessarily. If you're just someone utilizing it, for example, if you're doing like a TF2 like animation and you want to use like a soldier AI voice because you have soldier in it, I would not see that as disrespectful to Rick May. I don't see that as disrespectful to him. You just, it's difficult to find really good actors who can do a soldier impression who sometimes would be willing to do projects like that. Some of them are, some of them are. It really just depends, and it depends on like how big the project is. If the project is usually
Mm.
really big, you're usually going to see people using voice actors and actresses in it who can do pretty decent replications of the characters' voices. You will see that. And I do see that a lot. However, if it's a smaller project that's like a minute long animation, does it really fucking matter if they use AI? Like, it's a one guy doing an animation who doesn't want to spend a bunch of money hiring a bunch of voice actors to replicate these characters' voices. That I understand. I get that. If it's a bigger project, but if it's a bigger project, maybe, lean more into like trying to find some actors and actresses if you really feel like you're dedicated to the project. But if it's a smaller fucking project, does it really fucking matter if they're using AI voices? No. However, if a big company is using AI voices, that's where I feel like that's the problem. However, I haven't seen much of them doing that yet. The most I've seen, or at least, I mean, you can correct me if anyone's seen anything of actual big companies doing this, but the most I've seen was from High on Life using AI generated posters. That
Mm.
that was the worst that I've seen of like a company or quote big company using AI for something. Other than that, I don't really recall much. At least not for serious purposes, at least. Because I'm sure most companies have probably tried out the AI just to like see if it actually works or just to see how good it is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like someone on like the SpongeBob team used an AI to try to write a SpongeBob episode, and then everyone on the team was just laughing their asses off. Speaking of SpongeBob, actually, um, do you remember the closed behind doors? I think it was called. Do you remember that whole thing that happened recently?
Um, I think so.
It
What
was
was it?
it was a long lost file or like book that a lot of the animators and artists on SpongeBob during the earlier times, like back in like the early 2000s working on SpongeBob, it was an accumulation of these like uh what's the best word for it? Unhinged and graphic SpongeBob drawings. Like actually, like there were actually images, I think, of like SpongeBob and Squidward like fucking
Oh Jesus!
actually done by the actual. Okay, I don't know if they were it was actually that, but it was like, for example, there were like drawings of like the characters naked with genitals and like Mr. Krabs taking a massive shit in a toilet and some shit like that. And apparently it was like locked away for a very long time, like hidden away because of course um Nickelodeon doesn't want that shit to get out. But apparently the reason why they did that was because apparently someone who like one of the animators or something on the team who did an interview said something like, when you work on a children's show like this for a while, or no, it was something like a lot of animators and artists have like a more malicious side to them or something, and sometimes they need to like get out all these like more disgusting and grotesque ideas somehow. And like working on a children's show, sometimes it makes it kind of difficult to sort of express more of that malicious, like, gross side. So they like had like this notebook and like shit and like paper, and then would draw all these like weird ideas and put them away in this folder.
My
um
goodness!
which, by the way, apparently that's not actually uncommon. A lot of children's shows actually, a lot of, especially like a lot of like the actors and actresses for them, a lot of outtakes will actually feature the like, like one of my favorite one was the big bear in the house, I think it's called. It was, I'm pretty sure most people have seen this, where it's the one where they're like, yeah, come on bitch, give me a chicken pot pie, hey you piece of shit, shut up. And it's like, yeah, go get me a chicken pot pie. Like, it's just outtakes of like the actors of these like little baby shows. And the reason why is because the reasoning is because when you're working on like a baby show and you're like being all like happy and go, and you're being like really like, you can't say all this stuff. There's going to be times where the actors and actresses just need to like say shit so that they can get it out of their
Mm,
system. And I honestly, I don't blame them.
yeah.
I absolutely understand where that comes from. When you work on a show like that for that long and you just say all this baby shit all the time, there's going to be points where you just got to say fuck.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna blur it. I love the idea of like this is Sesame Street episode, and you just see like Oscar the Grouch, Elmo, Big Bird, and they're all like singing a song, and in the middle of the song, you just see Big Bird going "fuck," and everyone stops and looks at him. It's like, sorry,
Oh,
sorry, sorry, I had to get that out. They're just, or even like on Barney, if you're just watching Barney and they're just singing that "I love you, you love me," and then someone in a costume just like runs over and kicks one of the kids. Like, I just had to get that out of my system. That kid was pissing me off. uh, I malicious children's shows is the funniest fucking shit. I love the idea. I'm not talking like kid show. I'm talking like baby shows, like fucking Barney and like Teletubbies. I love the idea of those shows and their characters just being like dickheads to the children. We need more of that. We need more children's shows that at just random points, for no reason whatsoever, the characters will just say something out of nowhere that's uncalled for. I want more of that. uh I don't. Are there instances of that ever really happening or no? I can't
I
really.
I d-
I
I don't know anything about it honestly.
I don't. It doesn't happen very often, or at least I can't really think of it. Oh, come here, buddy. What do you think, Arthur? What's your opinion? Not gonna say anything. It's my buddy Arthur. Yeah, we were talking about children's shows being malicious and how I find it really fucking funny. I can't think of any instance of it actually happening and it getting in. The only examples I can really think of is Alex Hirsch and how sometimes he would like the SMP not approved bit. Do you know about that? I think I showed you that video, right?
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one where it's the Summerween Gravity Falls episode where it's like they have the flyer and it says like, like spin the bottle will be there, and then the Disney like SMP group was like, you can't put spin the bottle because that implies making out, and Alex Hirsch is like, yeah, what teenagers don't play spin the bottle and make out? And then they're like, we still feel uncomfortable with this. And then Alex Hirsch was like, okay, fuck it, just put down, replace spin the bottle with not SMP approved. And then SMP approved literally said, not SMP approved is approved by SMP.
Oh,
Hold
oh
on.
my goodness, that's
I don't know
great.
that. Hold on. What do you want, buddy? Go.
Doggo.
My boy wanted to get out. Listen, I respect Alex Hirsch very much for the fact that he stood up to fucking Disney's executives and shit and SMP for how fucking sensitive they are. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm honestly
Mm,
surprised with a lot of the shit that like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon even get away with. Like, one of my favorite instances of like something I'm like, how the fuck did they get away with that? Is the episode where they're trying like, I forget, it's a SpongeBob episode where they're trying to figure out like who ate like SpongeBob's like thing or whatever, Krabby Patty. I don't remember. And then like Patrick's like doing a sketch, and then he's like, oh my god, I know who did it. it was Squidward, and the drawing he shows us. It's the fucking. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quickly, and I'll send it to you, Tams, and I'll put it in the episode, a podcast. It's the fucking
Hmm.
eating Krabby Patty drawing. Let me see if I can't find it. It's gotta be here. Yeah, it's the first result. Shut the fuck up, webcam. It's the first fucking result. Here, let me copy it and I'll send it to you and I'll put it in the podcast. Look at this. I love. Look at this. How did they get away with that? How the fuck did Nickelodeon executives say, yeah, that's good? I love it so much. It's such a good drawing. This is like on par with the drawings that they did in the like the behind closed doors thing. Like this is like on par. This is the style, like even more grotesque than this. And
Mm.
I love this shit though. And another weird one I noticed recently was I was rewatching episodes of Uncle Grandpa, and for some reason I don't know why, but in one of the episodes, it's the Aunt Grandma one. In the background, there's just a poster of Bill Clinton. That's just a random ass poster of Bill Clinton in the background. And I'm just like, why is that there? And the weirdest part is the girl is like, she's like supposedly like British, or she has a British accent. So you think she's from like England. So it's like, why the fuck does she have a Bill Clinton poster? It's the stupidest shit. But it's stuff like that that I just think to myself, like, how the fuck did they get away with it?
Oh, I don't know. This is bizarre.
I wonder if they just like it goes under the radar. I mean, I know that sometimes happens a lot with a lot of shows. Sometimes shit just goes under the radar. I mean, fucking the amount of shit that comes out of stuff like T Titans Go that like gets approved. I'm just like, how did anyone look at this and say, yeah? Oh, you know what? You know what? The most recent example of something in which I'm like, how did this get approved? Is that Total Drama Rama episode with the Toot Fairy who smells the kids' farts?
Oh God, yes, I remember that. Oh
I
Jesus,
like how did
how did
that
they get away with that?
exactly? And that's not even funny. That's just disgusting. How did they get away with that? It's I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't understand. Someone sat down, an executive like S&P, I don't know who at Warner Brothers does that shit, but someone sat down, watched that episode and said, "Yep, this is good for children." Whoever that fucker
Oh
is,
my
whoever
goodness.
that fucker is, I hope they left behind with the old Cartoon Network building. I hope they left him and locked him in there, because that person does not allow to be like they gave the thumbs up. God, how so much shit just gets away with it, and I don't understand how it does. But yeah, one of my favorite things about like television shows like that is just those small little things that just get through that happen on
Hmm.
accident, and the people who the director, the producers, the writers, whoever, they're like, no, 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 keep it in. What's the best example of one of those? One of the best examples, I can't think of any off the top of my head. One of the ones I can kind of think of, but I don't know for sure if it actually was left in or if it was written that way, is the one Adventure Time thing where Finn says, I think he's supposed I think the okay, I'm not 100% sure, but he says, "I'll get your kid back toy."
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I think that was a mess up. I think I'm not 100% sure. It sounds like it was, but it's just so funny and sounds so like something Finn would actually say in the moment just by mistake, that I can imagine they were just like, "Nah, keep it in. It's funny." But I remember when I was younger and I heard that, it really confused me. And I was like, "What the fuck? Wait, what?" I was a little boy when I watched that, and I was like, wait a minute. I can't think of any other instances. I'm trying to think of like, I mean, obviously there's like shit like from like Bob's Burgers where you could clearly tell it's all improvised. And the reason you could tell is because you can actually hear the actors laughing like behind, like you can hear them like giggling a little bit, or just like one of my favorite
Mm,
ones is the Bob's Burger. It's you see it a lot more in season one, and I love season one of Bob's Burgers. It's perfect comedy in my opinion. But it's the one where they're like Linda's like saying like Jimmy Pesto is like looks like Tom Selleck, and then Linda's like, when I die, I want you to cremate me and throw me on Tom Selleck's face. And you just hear Bob just going, he just wheezes. It's just like that's a crazy request. You could just hear him wheezing in the voice act. H.J. Benjamin, I think is his name. You could just tell he wasn't prepared to hear that, and he's just laughing. That was like a pure
yeah.
laughter. I love those moments so much. And actually, I want to bring up the fact that one of my favorite YouTube channels growing up was Cute Mario Bros. And which is a plush YouTube channel that I watched. Me and my brother watched growing up, along with Super Mario Logan. But I fell out of love with him a very long time ago. But regardless, I loved Cute Mario Bros. And one of the things I loved about them was just the raw energy of how random a lot of their unscripted bits were, or just the stuff that they just did out of just pure imagination and fun that just led to them just laughing their asses off while recording. And another one that comes to mind was the YouTube channel Glove and Boots. They were also the same
Mm,
way because they would just like say the most random shit, and then would just the guys would just start laughing their asses off, and it was the best shit. And the reason why I bring this up is because something I noticed recently with Super Mario Logan is that they've taken to actually do that same thing with their shit. Whenever they have an outtake where they laugh, they don't edit it out anymore. They just keep it in.
mm,
But the problem is though is that I don't know, it feels like they're just trying to like live up to like what made Cute Mario Bros feel so raw and pure. Like, sure, yeah, it's kind of funny, but there's times where it's like, dude, why are you keeping this in? This isn't funny. This is just like this is an actual outtake. And I'm just like, to me it just feels lazy. I don't want to start beef with
mm.
Super Mario Logan, but listen, I loved Super Mario Logan when I was younger. Even Tams and
Oh
some of
yeah, definitely.
yeah, even Tams watched it
Ye
when she
like,
was
it's
younger.
one of those guilty pleasures I had when I was a child watching it, but it wasn't so much as brain dead comedy as I thought it would be when I was a kid growing up with it. It like, the comedy was actually decent. It was silly, yes, because they were literally playing dolls and recording it for entertainment. But at the time, it was just kind of like the peak for childhood because that's pretty much what most children did when they were like around that age. They just played with their dolls and then did the whole Toy Story kind of scenario kind of thing. And it was very entertaining.
It was.
Like they just did things that we would just get stupidly excited for, and we did. And yeah, that's basically like it was good for a while, honestly, but then like over the years, the content just kind of got over to his head, and he started to become more and more different. He started to like portray his best friends. It just all became such a mess
The
after a
voice
while
of
to the point where it
yeah,
just wasn't entertaining anymore.
I'm pretty sure the voice of Mama Luigi, that guy, I think at one point he said he hated Logan.
Damn.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But I remember something like saying something like, yeah, like he said something like Logan really changed since we were kids and I just don't like him anymore. He just doesn't he's not the same person or something like that. Again, I don't want to start
Yeah.
beef with Super Mario Logan, but I mean to be fair,
No, but
I've
when
already talked about him on the Let's Play before and how like sorry,
mm,
you were saying
well, I'm just saying, like, you would know because, like, you fucking nerd. You're like literally the most number one fan of Oni Plays I've literally ever met in my entire life. And if this channel were to go somewhere, if you were to at least be noticed by some miracle from the gods, that you would somehow get in contact with any of them, which you did, one of them you did, it would literally be your dream come true if you could at least show up for like one episode or something like that. You're literally only plays number one fan. You're the biggest nerd I've ever met.
I burst down the door and during one of the recordings, and I'm like, "This is my episode now." And I just turn off their game that they're playing like Sonic 06, and I just turn it off for like, "We're playing Pizza Tower. We already played it for the channel. You didn't finish it." And I'm just like really mean to them the whole time, and I'm quiet. I'm just playing the game, and they're trying to do commentary, and I'm just like, "Shh, I'm playing the game." I'm not. I'm just. I would love to just go to a recording session and act like really happy and fun, and then when we start recording, I'm just a dick to everyone, and they just like stop recording. Like, why are you so mean? I'm just like, bro, I'm just just JKing, you know.
You just ruined your one chance to meet them. Your one chance, and you blew it.
Like a certain someone else that we can't talk about because we don't want to piss off that fan base.
Yeah, true. We were going to talk about it, but even as small as this channel is, we still don't want to risk it. That's how
uh,
bad it is. We gotta wait for the allegations to go by before we can
I'm
talk about it.
fine. I'm fine to risk it. I just don't want my friends being a part of the backlash. So I'm not.
That's true.
So I'm. I
But
don't.
your friends aren't involved, are they?
I'm talking about you guys involved with my channel.
Oh no, I'll be fine. No one gives a shit about me.
I do.
I know you do, and I give shit about you too, but I highly doubt we would be interesting enough to really piss off anyone who would really do any damage.
Yeah,
It's
I
honestly
know,
fine.
I know how to piss them off. Beelzebub's design is not very good.
I prefer if they were a bug, honestly.
Uh,
It makes no sense that they're a fox, and I don't care if there's anyone who's gonna argue me on that. It should be a bee. It's a fucking queen bee. How hard is it to just keep it a bee?
there you go. That's all we're gonna say. That's
That's
the
all we're gonna say because
every episode we're gonna say something, some opinion about those. You know, we're going to provide more opinions. Just one though every episode. So every
yeah.
episode we slowly piss off more and more of that fan base. They just get so steep. And now the best part is that this will make them keep coming back to the podcast watching us because now that I promised every episode we're gonna give an opinion on that show.
Mm.
Now they're gonna keep coming back because they're like, what's their opinion gonna be? Is it gonna align with mine? Are they gonna shit on it some more? And you know what? Let them come. Even if they dislike the video, I really don't care. In fact, honestly, you know, the amount of people that just come to like videos, especially the ones where I feature like my friends who are also like content creators, and I just see
Mm.
the like to dislike ratio, and I see people will just dislike them. I just think to myself, like, these people specifically came to this video just to dislike it. Not, no, I can't confirm it, but most likely because my friend was in it, and I just think to myself, like,
Mm.
it's just so pathetic, and I don't even take offense to it. I just think to myself like, well, they're giving me view count, so I really don't care. And the like to dislike ratio is, there's more likes to dislikes, so honestly I really don't care. you know even if there is, dislikes, at the end of the day, um you know I really just, I feel like I've gotten at least somewhat used to that sort of feedback at least. But usually I've never gotten any
Yeah.
malicious comments before. Usually I'll get the occasional like dumb person being like, ha ha, like, only 10 views, cringe. And I'm just like, and then like 20 minutes later the video has like 50 views, and I'm just like, ha ha, 50 views, cringe. Like, I think one of my favorite ones was someone was jokingly say, it was the AI video I did with Shredder, and then someone was like, said, because at the beginning I said a disclaimer saying we're not copying Oni Plays because they did a similar video, pretty much the exact with majority AI on
Yeah.
Discord, and I did a
Like as much as
disclaimer.
you're a fan with them, you try so hard not to like copy them or
Yeah,
anything.
but I did that disclaimer just as a joke. And then someone in the comments just was like, I can't believe they copied Oni Plays. And then I responded them saying, I know the audacity of them. I just played into it. And I'm fine with those kind of comments, honestly. I don't care. The kind of comments I don't appreciate are the ones where people are just being generally just, you know, just just disgusting or offensive, which unfortunately doesn't happen too often, but it well, fortunately it doesn't happen too often, but unfortunately there have been instances where I've seen a few uncalled for comments on some of my videos, not usually not directed towards me,
Yeah.
but directed towards maybe some of the people I bring on or just some of my friends. And yeah, usually I will delete those comments because those are just uncalled for. Don't come to my videos to fucking talk shit because if you don't know, the people you're talking shit about don't see those fucking comments because it's not on their channel, nor do they really even read the comments of the videos. I do.
Mm,
It's my channel. I see them. They're never gonna see it. There's no point. They're just being just trolls and just being stupid. And I don't. I'm all for being a troll, but harassing someone is completely different. And I don't
mm,
take kindly to that, so I usually just delete those comments. It's not worth it. And you know, maybe it's just because it's just like I'm not gonna keep those comments there because it's toxic. I like
mm,
this channel to be sort of a nice safe zone for just a nice safe little zone for where people can just come just to relax and just talk about things that they want and just like be able to just have a corner where a corner of the internet that's very small and very like unknown, but I definitely have seen people feel like you know like more and more people will just come across my channel, and I can't tell if they're being sarcastic, I can't tell if they're being like genuine, but I definitely have gotten comments here and there talking about like saying like I deserve a lot more subscribers or I'm a very underrated channel. so
mm.
so I
I
don't know.
definitely think your channel would be a lot better if like you were able to stream like this kind of stuff, so you're able to talk to the audience.
I think so too. Maybe in the future we'll see some more stream shit. Although I don't know what I would do. Would it be a video game stream? If I did do a video game stream, what video game would you want me to stream? Um if you just wanted to be like a stream where I just talk to the peoples? What would you or maybe have it be something where I react to like I don't know, like Twitter or YouTube videos or some shit. I don't know. Fucking rip a payment of
Oh,
20
you
coins
know that
to
one
web
episode you
stores.
did where like you
Spit it out.
you got those like pictures, you know, the thing where you got them all. I forgot what it's called. Fuck.
The AI
Uh,
generated photos?
yes, yeah. You should do that and then live stream it, and then you can ask the audience for suggestions and stuff, and then
Hmm.
it'd just
Okay.
be such a blast.
Yeah, I could do that. I need people's gotta let me know. You gotta let me know what you want. And I guess one of the things that I have been considering recently is doing a Discord server. Although I don't know. Discord servers are kind of a lot to take care of, and they can be quite stressful. I don't know. However, I am planning. One of the things I might be planning though is when I hit 100 subscribers, I might do a Discord server. I might. I'm not. No
Ooh.
promises, but to celebrate 100 subscribers, if I get there, that might be something I do, or at least highly consider. If I do a Discord server, keep
Mm,
in mind, I'm not really sure. One thing I will say though is that um, I don't know. I think that just doing a Discord server would be a lot of fun because I don't know. At least then I can get better feedback, I guess, from like the people who at least watch me who are interested in my content, and and maybe also be able to like show and like send like exclusive like shorts and videos and shit like like clips that didn't actually make it into the episode. I can like turn them into smaller videos and post them in the Discord server for exclusive
mm,
members to watch, because there are shit that we cut out from videos that I can't put in. Some of it is unfortunately I don't have saved, some of it I do. It's something I'll just have to consider, but it is a possibility that I might do that in the future, so keep an eye out for that. It really just depends on how I feel and if I feel dedicated to doing it. But I don't know. I feel like I need a little bit bigger of an audience base before I start doing something like that because I don't want to do a Discord server and only have like 2 people in it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely have noticed that I've surprisingly have gotten some attention that I was not expecting. I didn't expect that I would get any kind of attention at all, really, outside of maybe my friends. But it seems that the algorithm sometimes works to my advantage and sometimes does not. So with the Tears of the Kingdom episodes, it seems that the algorithm really liked those because those videos have been doing pretty decently so far. But of course, the video in which is my most popular by far is the VR chat creepy Amy video,
Mm.
which I wonder why that one has done so well.
Yeah, I wonder.
I wonder why. That wasn't even just like I just called it. Also, uh I don't know much about like Sonic or like fan lore or shit, so I didn't know that the Amy avatar was using is called like the LSD Amy or whatever. All I knew was that it was an Amy avatar that had a creepy face, so I called her Creepy Amy. Don't judge me. I don't know all this fucking lore shit. I don't keep up with it. I don't spend 24/7 reading Sonic fan fictions about Knuckles and Shadow licking Sonic's toes. I don't do that stuff.
Jeez.
I mean, it's out. It exists. It's out there. That's so much fucking foot shit with Sonic characters. It's honestly like I don't get it. Like I get it. I know like there's a lot of focus on Sonic's feet, but like assuming how much he runs, those his feet must stink. Why people want to sniff those shit?
Because people are nasty.
They are nasty. They stinky. His
Very
stinky toes.
stinky.
He's probably got athlete's foot. You're getting athlete's foot on your tongue. Uh,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen Sonic actually take good care of his feet. I mean, I rarely even see him take his shoes off. So possibly he just keeps them on 24/7. And if he does, he's definitely got some foot fungi and foot cheese in there. You know,
Yeah, no.
he takes off his shoes. He's got like a whole fucking like the bottom of it is just like a mozzarella. He just peels it off and it's
Oh,
sticky.
Jesus Christ. That's disgusting.
The foot fungus helps cushion my feet when I run.
Ew.
Tails, you got anything for this foot cheese in my shoes? Sonic, yeah, I do.
Oh,
It's called taking your shoes off after you go for a run.
I wonder what his feet look like if he has like slightly human hands but glove hands. Like, do you think he just has like human toes but like his feet are just blue?
That's usually how most people depict it. Personally, I think it'd be funnier if you know like how Patrick just has the one big toe with the toenail. I imagine that's Sonic's foot. He just has one big toenail. It's just filled with fungus.
Ew, Jesus Christ.
That's how
I'm
he
gonna eat pizza soon. This is gonna ruin my appetite.
Imagine there's a pizzeria that uses foot cheese for instead of regular cheese.
Can you not? Can you not? I'm literally about to eat pizza soon and now you ruined it for me. Thanks a lot, Dick.
Oh, come on. Uh, that's
Why did you say
that's
that?
Peppino's secret recipe for his pizzeria pizza.
You know I have trouble with eating things, and now you're making it harder.
Uh, Fine, I'll make it better. I'll make it better. How do I make it better?
Can't make it better. You ruined it.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Well, okay,
Fuck you.
just close your eyes and imagine you're not eating foot fungus. There you go.
Can you shut up?
It helps remove the fungus from my toes. Yeah. Listen, I can quote Oni plays all day.
You
Jeez,
really can.
I really can.
You're literally the number one fan.
I don't know about number
You're the
one.
unclaimed, untitled number one fan.
I guess so. I mean, I guess. I mean, I definitely am a huge fan of their shit because a lot of their humor really lines up with my own, and I just genuinely enjoy those silly little boys, especially Tomar. He's my favorite.
Mm.
I am Joshua Tomar. I actually really do like Tomar. I think not only is he really funny in my opinion, but he's also just a genuinely really good voice actor.
Yeah, he is.
Apparently he's do you remember the Satina show?
The same tea. Yeah, yeah, I know
Yeah, the one with like the little like I forget. I guess it's like it's I guess Lucifer is like this giant milf, and then she has like a kid with like this loser like guy on like the human world, and they have a daughter who's like just brain dead.
that. Mm.
Yeah, I guess they're actually coming out with season one of that show pretty soon, and they showed a sneak peek to it, and Tomar actually is playing Death in it, which is really cool.
Ooh, that is cool.
Yeah, it's the Horseman, the Horseman of the Apocalypse,
Yeah.
and Tomar plays Death. But the one thing I want to bring up is that I love the aesthetic of the show because
Mm.
Hell looks like do you know like the twisted metal kind of art pieces you see for like those like heavy metal
Oh, they're
bands?
like my favorite
That's what it
design.
looks like. That's what the hell in that show
Mm.
looks like. I'll have to show you I'll show you it. Maybe I'll put a picture of it on screen if Hannah is okay with me doing that. I don't think she really cares.
Yeah.
But legitimately, that shit is what I want out of like a show based in hell. I want it to look distorted and weird and twisted and just like, like I want it to look kind of abstract. I wanted to look like that sort of twisted metal art. That's the kind of shit I like
Mm.
because that's what I think about when I think of hell. Because that's sort of I don't think about a fucking you know I don't think about a
Oh, here we
fucking
go.
society that just works like our above world. It is I can't.
Uh-huh. Totally not calling out a certain series. Totally not. You're so tempted to. I can feel it. I can feel it on
Yeah,
your side.
yeah.
You really want to say it.
Nah, I'm talking about Leo and Satan. Leo and Satan, Leo and Satan, Leo and Satan. Hey, Leo. Wait, what does he sound like again?
Oh, oh! You know what we should talk about?
What?
You remember the conspiracy of Jimmy Two Shoes?
No! Oh,
Yes. Let's
okay,
talk
okay.
about that, shall we, folks?
The conspiracy entry. Okay, this is something that I've sort of known about and been fascinated with for a while. But if you don't know, there was a television show. I think it premiered on Disney XD or something called Jimmy Two Shoes,
Mm.
which was a children's show that was just a blatant ripoff of SpongeBob. It wasn't terrible, but it was just a straight ripoff of SpongeBob. Honestly, it was just like you'll watch it and you'll
Oh
see you'll see
no.
what I mean. It's just literally ripped all the books out of SpongeBob. But
Mm.
um the thing that I'm fascinated about the show is that the show was originally supposed to be a lot more adult, and there's adult concepts, and I guess I'll put them on screen here for you guys to see the ones I can find. And the show was originally
Oh
supposed
yeah,
to be a
yeah.
lot more adult and gory, and it was supposed to take place. The whole premise of the show was that it was a show about a kid who dies supposedly from like a car who gets hit by a car, and he dies and he gets sent to hell by accident. And in
Mm.
hell, basically his whole thing is that he tries because he's such like a happy guy who's like always trying to look on the bright side of things, a happy kid. He tries to like entertain people in hell and make it a better place and shit. And he uses because of the fact that he's dead, he uses that to like entertain people by like distorting himself and like hurting himself, getting himself like burned and decapitating himself, shit like
Mm.
that. And it's really I really like the concept of it, and I really wish it would have gone somewhere, but unfortunately, what we got was a lot more tamed, and it's not based in hell. It's based off of this like weird monster world called Miseryville. But I mean, it's blatantly just hell, and a
Mm.
lot of the character designs didn't change either. So a lot of the characters just literally just look like demons. So you can clearly tell that. I mean,
Mhm.
Clearly, yeah. But I think the reason why Tams is bringing that up is because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
her smart ass, when I was talking about it with her,
Yeah.
came to me and was like, I can't, I don't know if I want to say it, but was like, do you think this certain person based this certain show off of the original concept for Jimmy Two Shoes? And I was like, oh my god. Oh my
See, it would make more sense if you were to
god.
actually say it, but like,
I think people
oh,
know what we're talking about. Listen, I don't want to actually say, because if people are being like, how dare you talk shit about that show? I could be like, how do you know I was talking about that show? Hmm? How do you know? You don't know.
hmm,
You don't know. Hell of a
you
box.
don't know.
Aspen Hotel.
I just said it was a theory. I said it was a theory that like maybe they took inspiration from that show and that's how it came to be. Only it's more whatever.
I just love the idea that that show ripped off the original
Mm,
concept of Jimmy Two Shoes. I love it.
yeah.
Listen, uh, you know, at the end of the day, I think it's just really funny. We're not saying that they did. I just think that it's really funny.
So
Personally,
we wouldn't be surprised if it was.
yes, I would not
Like
be
maybe they
surprised
did.
because it's very similar in concept. Because you have the happy-go-lucky person who wants to help people, make people happy in hell, and then you have like all these miserable characters, and then you have just you'll get what I mean if you did research into the original idea for Jimmy Two Shoes. There's like a fan wiki on it
Mm,
that you can read, and if you read it, you'll get a better understanding of why we made this connection between these two shows. And I'm not afraid to like
mm.
say like, at the end of the day, what I will say though is, I feel like if we at least compliment the show, we could probably mention it. So let's say one good thing that we like about Has Been Hotel.
I like their what are we talking about? Husband Hotel or Hell of the Boss? Because it's basically the same thing.
Both. We could just both, I guess.
I like her design of her adaptation of Asmodeus. I personally do like that because, despite, you know, recent events of Queen Bee herself and many people's opinions about it, very mixed. I can personally say that I quite like the design of Asmodeus because it's actually very close to the representation of what he's actually supposed to be interpreted by. Like, and what I mean by that, I'll go into more detail, is that in his original design, he's supposed to be an adaptation. I'm not really good with big words, by the way, of like having two separate heads. Like he has like three heads. He has like one that's a cow and one that's a goat, and he basically represents, the Prince of Lost or whatever. And if you actually look at his original design for like the Bible or any adaptation you find online, you can see that even his lower half is kind of like he has like hooves on them, like just fur and stuff. But the top half is mainly human, as well as his middle head, and blah blah blah. And the design they went for this is not only giving it a kind of like casino neon colored like exciting look and whatnot, which I quite like because it's like a fresh take without having it to be too fizzy if you catch my drift. But the fact that she kept it in with the design next to her head shows that she's done research. She's actually done research on the characters and what they are supposed to represent, and that I can at least appreciate. However, a lot of people can argue with me when it comes to the design with the queen bee herself and whether or not she should just be a bee or a bug of any insect and what kind. And that is basically what the Lord of Flies is supposed to represent. It's just supposed to be anything to do with bugs, at least closely resemble to it. And if it was going to go with the queen bee, then they might as well have the queen bee with it. It's just like honestly, it wouldn't have bothered me so much about what her design is if it wasn't for the fact that it just felt like furry bait, honestly. It just felt like an excuse to kind of just throw in a fox in there because of them having a herd of hellhounds. Like I get it. She's like the leader of the pack, but she's also the queen
She's
bee.
the
So
leader of the
Busy just
bunch.
kind of combining two separate things at once, being the leader of the pack of wolves while also being the queen bee herself, and it just doesn't blend together in my personal opinion. I just don't really think it really brings out her design. I like certain designs when it came to her just representing as a bee, but not so much as her final design. Honestly, it's personally not for me. Though that's just my opinion, and that shouldn't really matter about how people really feel about the characters. I know that we just said that we're just going to talk about one nice thing that she did right, and I technically trailed off her a bit. But it's just it's just one of those details where
That's the beauty of the
she
singular
is
Braincell
trying.
podcast.
She is trying. I can say that. Like she does have some talent. I just cannot comment any more than this sentence. I just cannot due to obvious reasons. That's all I'm gonna say.
I
That's
like
just my opinion.
I like the derpy faces.
That probably would have been a better and shorter answer.
I like the derpy faces. I think they're funny. There you go. We said something nice. So now you guys can't fucking shit on us and be like, oh, listen, we're not gonna listen. We're not here to mock or we're just giving our opinions and we're being fair with them. We're not being overly
Mm,
aggressive. We're just giving our opinions. And fact is that um uh I actually kind of enjoyed the concept and the sort of direction of Hell of a Boss for season one. I thought that it was fine. As for season two, I'm not going to give my opinion on it yet. Though I have a lot to say, I'm not going to give it on it yet because technically season two isn't over yet. Once it's over, maybe then we'll talk about it. But right now, I'm just going to say season one, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought that there was some good stuff about it and it had a pretty decent concept. And I thought it worked a lot more. I thought it was a lot more, at least functionally, interesting, you could say, than, you know, Hell of a Has Been Hotel, at least. I don't know. It just,
mm,
I vibed more with the ideas and characters than that show, is what I'll say. But, you know, we complimented it. We gave our opinions. Shut up. If you don't like what we're saying, go fucking piss in your diapers. we we're here to speak the truth, and the truth is that honestly, I like to separate the art from the artist. And when I do that, I can safely say that a lot of the derpy
mm.
faces from the show make me laugh.
Yeah.
I like the funny faces. They're really good. I think one thing that they're really good at is just like drawing those stupid faces. I think they work very well. I think that they're
Mm,
funny, and because they don't do it very often, when they do it, it's a nice like breath of fresh air from a lot of the other sort of stuff. So, if there's one thing I can say, please continue doing derpy faces. They are the best part.
mm.
But uh, what were we talking about before Jimmy Two Shoes? I lost track. What the fuck were we talking about?
I'm not even sure myself. I just knew that that was just such a good subject to talk about because it just blew my mind that like
The
no one else has
realization.
really talked about this.
The realization. Again, we're not saying they stole the
Yeah.
idea, but they are very similar, and it's just funny to think about that. At the very least, what if they based it off of the original idea for Jimmy Two
Yeah, it's like
Shoes?
a what if thingy. We're not saying they did, but we're saying it would be so funny if they did.
It would be a lot of fun. I think one of the things that like just basing things off of like other people and stuff is honestly
Mm,
like because I don't know why this made me think of it, but it was because I was thinking about like people like basing stuff off of things and the malicious and like think about like the malicious part of it. Like you have people that like base ideas off of stuff because they're inspired by it, and then you have the people that do it because they want to mock them. And for some reason, when I thought about that, I thought about the monkey NFT show where they made fun of Saber Spark by making a character called
Mm.
Saber Fart.
Really?
Yes, because Saber Spark did a review on the show and said how shitty it was. And so they had an episode with a character called Saber Fart that looked exactly like his character. It's like what the fuck? But to be fair, Saber Spark honestly thought it was funny, so he didn't really care. He just kind of like said, "This is like I've reached. This is my dream come true. This is
Mm.
my dream. I tell you what, a dream come true is for me is getting on Chris Chan's hit list.
Oh my goodness, that's like your
I have
that's your
I
biggest
have, I have
like
three
goal in
big
life.
I have three big dreams in my life. The first one is to make my own video games. My second one is to, I don't know. A lot of you might make fun of me, but is to be featured on like Only Players, or just even just to be able to hang out with like Zach or be on like Smiling Friends and shit like that, or just hang out
Mm.
with the guys because I really do like them and I would love to be on an episode of Smiling
I
Friends.
honestly believe you can do it. I honestly see you being in that
I just
situation.
like those guys and they're a lot of fun. Maybe I will,
Yeah.
maybe not. Obviously, that one is a lot less like I'm ambitious towards. I'm more ambitious towards making my own games. That's just something in which I'm like, I would really like to be able to like, you know, sit down with Zach and Michael and just like write an
Mm.
episode of Smiling Friends with them. I think that's just
Yeah, yeah.
that's just something I think that would be a lot of fun. And my third major dream is getting on Chris Chan's hit list. I want to be one of the first people he tries to go after for when the merge happens. He
Mm.
becomes one with Chris Chan, becomes one and becomes Chris Chan Sonichu. I know we talk about Chris Chan a lot on the Let's Play channel, but it's just because it's such a fucking muse. It's so amusing to me, especially me and Shredder. We get such a kick out of talking
Oh
about
yeah.
him.
You do
And
love talking about it.
yep, we love talking about him or her. I don't care. Fucking the dude fucked his mom. I don't care to respect their pronouns.
Oh my goodness.
I'm joking. Listen, okay, the dude only became a lesbian woman just so she could get with lesbian womans.
Mm.
It's kind of hard for me to respect someone who's trans only for that purpose, but regardless, whatever. I mostly just prefer. I don't really care. It's fucking Chris Chan.
Yeah.
It's fucking Chris Chan. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I'm being joking. I of course respect everyone and their pronouns, but of course, in Chris Chan's sake, I'm just so used to calling them him that unfortunately I just instinctually call them him. So
Mm.
apologies, but I think most people would agree with me that yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It's Christian. It's Christian.
Like if you're defending Christian, then that says a lot about you.
If you're defending Christian, the secretly a part of Christian's furry army.
Oh my goodness.
It's the best. I love it. Listen, this is why I love Christian so much. I don't love the person. I just love the fact that someone like Christian exists.
Mm.
It's so good. Man. What else is there really to say? I mean, I think that's a good place for us to stop for now. We got about an hour and a half of recording. I think that's pretty good. Any final
Yeah.
yeah. Any final words or final notes before we end the podcast?
Um. I I would have something witty to say.
Did you just say Witty from Friday Night Funkin'?
No, what have I done? My friend became the problem.
uh, oh boy, that's a topic that we should talk about on the next podcast. Is my
Sure.
opinions on FNF. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say. But that's
If there's one thing that nowadays people love to listen to, it's opinions.
oh, I don't care about giving my opinion on Friday Night Funkin'. I don't care. And just as a heads up,
Is it just gonna be your goal to just piss off everyone?
as a heads up, this is not like a lot of like how I feel about the game is not necessarily directed towards the creators, except for a few comments. But regardless, I like Dave, Ninja Muffin. I may have already said it before, but I think he's kind of a weird fuck. But regardless, I'm being sarcastic. But regardless, I don't hate any of those guys. I'm referring mostly to the Friday Night Funkin' community.
Oh yeah.
But again, that's for another podcast. Because if I were to talk about it now, I think I would probably going up on a long ass rant that would be better suited for. Just I don't want this podcast to go on for 4 hours. That's all. I don't want this one episode for going on for too long. So, but yes, any final words of knowledge, Dams? Any final words of intelligence for the audience?
Well, if this ever did become something better, if people actually did give a shit to listen to this stream this long, then good news. You're officially
A beta
you're
cuck.
officially on my sure.
No, who were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say you're officially whoever listened to this podcast long enough to hear us ranting about whatever. You're personally on my personal homie list. If you're on my homie list, that means you get an additional head pat if you ever see me in person. You get one free head pat if you listen to this entire stream for this long. This is your reward. You get a head pat from the most boring bitch on the planet.
Oh damn! I can think of much more boring people than you. Trust me. You are not the most boring person on the planet. Tabs, I can think of a lot
Yeah.
of things about you that is very interesting, but I cannot say due to not making you feel embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, that. Well, no one will ever figure out what that is in a lifetime. So that's gonna drive the audience crazy.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to the Singular Braincell podcast. I hope you enjoyed. If not, please refer to the number on screen now to submit your complaints. And we will see you guys in the next podcast or next Let's Play video. Bye bye.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Bye. I think you're okay.
That was very witty.